Dear students, today I am going to discuss about the topic Development of Human Rights in Post-Independence Period in India or the Constitutional Arrangement of Human Rights in India. We all know that India got its independence on 15th August 1947 and the Constituent Assembly it has adopted the Constitution for India on 26 November 1949 and the Constitution it enforced in India since 26 January 1950. The framers of the Indian Constitution, they had made the Constitution as a reliable instrument for securing the basic rights of the people of India. While making the Constitution, the framers they took consideration of various significant national and international events and the Bill of Rights. They were influenced by the Bill of Rights of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was adopted by the General Assembly of United Nations Organizations on 10 December 1948. Accordingly, there is a reflection of the two broad categories of rights which were incorporated in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, such as civil and political rights, and the other categories of rights were economic, social, and cultural rights. Those rights were incorporated in our Constitution also in the form of fundamental rights and directive principles of state policies. And the preamble and the fundamental duties incorporated in our Constitution has also indicated about human rights. Now, the arrangement of human rights in Indian Constitution, which can be classified under certain points. Firstly, preamble. We all know that preamble is an introductory statement of any act or any constitution which explains the purpose, the aims, the objectives such as of such act or the constitution. Thus, in case of Indian Constitution also, the preamble it explains the objective of India to establish as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic by giving emphasis on the values of equality, liberty, justice, and fraternity. So, this is the objective or this is the introductory statement of the Constitution of India. Secondly, the fundamental rights. The 6 fundamental rights incorporated in our Constitution under Part 3 from Article 12 to 35 with the objective for the development of individual personalities of the citizens of India. The Constitution of India has granted the 6 fundamental rights under Part 3, and the Constitution has not only granted those fundamental rights for the citizens but also given protection measures or has given safeguards to those fundamental rights of the citizen of India. So, the 6 fundamental rights incorporated in our Constitution under Part 3 are as such as first one is right to equality. From Article 14 to 18, right to equality has been mentioned, which provided equal rights, equal access in public places, or equal opportunities in employment, irrespective of any caste, any creed, any race, any sex, any religion, and so on. Through this right to equality, Constitution aims to prohibit discrimination against citizens of India, for example, by abolishing untouchability, because untouchability was a social practice in India during freedom struggle or before India got its independence. Untouchability, it was a social evil practice prevalent in Indian society on the basis of caste. So, through right to equality, the Constitution tries to prohibit discrimination by abolishing untouchability, and the Constitution of India also allows the state to make some special provision for the backward classes so that justice can be established in India. Secondly, right to freedom. Under article from Article 19 to 22, right to freedom has been enumerated in the Constitution of India for the enjoyment of the citizens of India. Again, the Constitution has given 6 freedoms to the citizens of India as a fundamental right. These 6 freedoms are freedom of speech and expression, freedom to assemble peacefully, freedom to form association, freedom of movement, freedom to reside and settle, and the last one is freedom to choose profession. Under Article 21, right to life has been given, and by 86th Constitution Amendment Act of 2002, right to education has been inserted under Article 21A as a fundamental right. Next fundamental right is right against exploitation. Right against exploitation, which are enumerated under Article 23 and 24 as a fundamental rights, which prohibits trafficking in human being and forced labor, such as begging. Article 24 prohibits employment of child below the age of 14 years in any hazardous employment. Another fundamental right, that is right to freedom of religion, which are enumerated in our Constitution under Article 25 to 28. These rights has been given. Through this right, the citizens of India has been given the right to practice and profess any religion of their choice. But this right has also prohibited the citizens to give any religious instruction, or this right has also prohibited the state as well as to the citizens of India to give any religious instruction or education in any educational institution, although this right has been given to the citizen to profess and practice any religion of their choice. The next fundamental right is cultural and educational rights, which are recognized by the Constitution under Article 29 and 30. This right has been given to the citizens to preserve their own culture, language, script, and so on. The last fundamental right, that is right to constitutional remedies, which is enumerated in our Constitution under Article 32 for the enforcement of fundamental rights. That means the Constitution of India not only granted fundamental rights to the citizens but also made arrangement for its protection by giving right to constitutional remedy as a fundamental right. Next arrangement in our Constitution is Directive Principles of State Policies. Directive principles of state policies are mentioned under Article 36 to 51 in Part 4 of our Constitution. These directive principles are incorporated in our Constitution with the objective to establish India as a welfare state, and these principles are certain recommendations given to the state to be followed while formulating policies for the citizens of India so that India can be established as a welfare state. Next arrangement is fundamental duties. By the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act of 1976, the fundamental duties are inserted in our Constitution under Part 4A in Article 51A, so that people of India to arouse the sense of respect among Indian citizens towards their fellow citizens as well as towards the state. Thus, through these arrangements by the framers of the Indian Constitution has tried to recognize and secure human rights of the people of India. Thank you.